What is going on, everybody? It's the Frosted here for Monday Night Raw review for June 17th, 2019. This show was from the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. This show I'm just going to say it right here. The beginning of the show, fine. The first match of the show, fine. The end of the show, awesome, with Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins. Everything in between was just meh to ugh. So I'm not saying this was the worst Raw of all time. They had a good opening and a good end, minus, of course, Baron Corbin hitting the end of days on a Seth Rollins that he probably gave a concussion to and probably fucked himself out of a match this coming Sunday because that last chair shot he gave Seth Rollins nailed him in the back of the head. So anybody watching Monday Night, watching Stomping this weekend and Seth Rollins is not there due to concussions, you can thank Baron Corbin. But the family story of the night was Seth Rollins pretty much killing and wasting every single superstar who Baron Corbin had set up to be his special guest referee. At the end of the night, we still don't know who the special guest referee is. There was no announcement. I figured the end of the match and the whole Baron Corbin beatdown would have led to him announcing the special guest referee, but you look at the clock and it's almost 11 o'clock by the time the attack happened by Baron Corbin. There was no chance of us knowing tonight who the special guest referee was. Elias kicked off the show, takes a shot at the local Heat by taking a shot at Anthony Davis and the Los Angeles Lakers. Would not be the last time we got a Anthony Davis and Los Angeles Lakers trash tonight, with Paul Heyman doing the same thing later in the show. He says Baron Corbin has picked him to be the special guest referee. He takes his jacket off, his scarves off, and everything, and sees that he has a referee's tank top on. Rollins just out of nowhere with a nasty chair shot, like Elias did not expect to see it coming. And he just gets viciously beat down by Seth Rollins. Rollins takes the mic and says, after everything he went through with Brock Lesnar, he's done playing games. He has this conviction in his voice, or trying to be like he has conviction in his voice. Rollins says this is a message to anyone considering the job of referee on Sunday. If they side with Corbin, Rollins doesn't care what he promised them. That is what waits you on the other side. Rollins wants them to choose wisely, drops the mic as his music hits, and marches up the ramp to the back. Michael Cole welcomes us to Raw, and he's joined by Corey Graves and Renee Young. Whatever. Fatal 5-Way number 1 contenders elimination match. Bobby Lashley, The Miz, Cesaro, Ricochet, and Braun Strowman. This match, from the outset, looked like it was going to be just a squash match. A simple squash match for Braun Strowman to kill The Miz, Lashley, Cesaro, Ricochet to get himself to Samoa Joe. A feud that, coming out of WrestleMania, was supposed to be between Samoa Joe and Braun Strowman, if you remember the week before the Superstar Shakeup, which was kind of irrelevant with how things are going now. On the SmackDown before the Superstar Shakeup was to begin, Braun Strowman came out and tried to lay out Samoa Joe. So that was supposed to lead to the feud, and that was supposed to be that was what the match we were supposed to get at Money in the Bank. But Vince McMahon being Vince McMahon, and the fact that he wants to punish Braun Strowman for missing a spot with Harper and Mustafa Ali at WrestleMania's Battle Royal, which almost ended Mustafa Ali's career. That match didn't happen, and we got Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe again, which led to Rey Mysterio's injury. But Cesaro and Lashley get eliminated quite quick from this match. Cesaro. Boy, oh boy, I don't know who... Oh yeah, before the match happened, Elias is still dead in the ring. Out comes The Miz, he hits a skull crushing finale. Bobby Lashley comes out, he hits a spear. Out comes Cesaro, he hits... what did he hit? Cesaro swings Elias. Out comes Ricochet, who hits a code breaker. And then Braun Strowman hits him with a running power slam. So Elias didn't really have a fun night at the office, and it's kind of weird to see a guy like Elias, who's been one of Shane McMahon's boys for the last month and a half, getting buried like this. I'm like, did Elias say something to piss Vince off, or did he make a joke that Vince McMahon didn't find funny, or did he fart and no, never mind. Did he like do something that offended Vince that he's like, you know what? We gotta bury this guy. Elias, go out there and take a finisher from each one of the guys in the Fatal 5-Way. Elias, again, bad night for him. Like I said for the match, Cesaro and Lashley ended up getting eliminated quite quick, but Cesaro, this motherfucker is a freak of nature. Not only did he hit Strowman with a neutralizer after being eliminated, he picked Strowman up on his shoulders. I don't know what the move is actually called, but he had him on his shoulders like sort of in like a torture rack but reversed, and just slammed him on the mat. Cesaro, it just shows every time that he is a freak of nature, and that this guy is one of the strongest men, pound for pound, in the WWE. He literally is probably going to be hurting just from that tonight, going to the hotel room. Ricochet ends up, against Cesaro and Lashley get eliminated from this match. They come back in and both hit. Lashley hits a spear on Braun Strowman, not neutralizer by Cesaro onto Strowman, which was still also a nice feat. Up goes Ricochet, hits the 630, goes to pin Strowman. Lashley and Cesaro actually helped Ricochet pin Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman got eliminated. Of course, being a sore loser that he is, he picks Ricochet up, throws him up over the top rope onto everybody else, lays out Bobby Lashley, and goes out to Cesaro. So that was it for him. It came down to The Miz and Cesaro, and after that, those two had a pretty good match. But the fact that they could have gave this victory, this pin to The Miz, and gave The Miz a pinfall over Braun Strowman, but no, they gave it to Ricochet, which in my opinion, that's a big deal, even though most of us don't see Braun Strowman as a big deal. Ricochet, even with the help, still got a big elimination on Braun Strowman, which I think is awesome. These two, like I said, Miz and Ricochet had a pretty good match here. Ricochet ends up getting the win off of a 630, I believe. Brings up, Ricochet catches them what they need to the jaw. Ricochet goes up, hits the 630 on to pin to become the number one contender at Stomping Grounds. When he hit the 630 on the Miz, I honestly thought Miz got the knees up, or Ricochet, this is the second week in a row where it looks like he over-rotated or rotated. When he's rotating, his body moves a little bit, because he looked like he landed on the Miz's knees. He didn't land where he should. He landed on the Miz's legs, which I think is going to becoming a problem for Ricochet, and if that's the case, he's probably going to have to stop doing the 630. He wins the match, which is awesome. Right call. Honestly, if Rey Mysterio is back fully healthy by SummerSlam, Ricochet needs to win the U.S. Championship from Samoa Joe, if not at Stomping Grounds, at Extreme Rules. And then build towards Ricochet versus Rey Mysterio at SummerSlam. It's the biggest party of the summer, the second biggest normal pay-per-view of the year. That would be the match I would open that show with. That is going to be an absolute show stealer if they would go for that. That would be, in my opinion, the best way to go with SummerSlam. Ricochet and Rey Mysterio. Roman Reigns will be here. Who gives a shit? Oh yeah, before we get to that, Ricochet was standing tall. Joe hit the ring and drops Ricochet because Samoa Joe was watching the Fatal 5-Way from the outside, having a smirk on his face when big moments happen, like Braun Strowman getting lifted up by Cesaro. He was just like, that's impressive. But yeah. So he goes to take out Ricochet. Ricochet comes back in and dumps Joe to the floor, runs the ropes, and leaps out, taking Joe back down on the floor. Ricochet stands tall back in the ring as his music hits, so that pretty much tells me that he's probably not going to win at Stomping Grounds, but I can see this going into Extreme Rules, and that being where he wins the U.S. Championship, which he should, and giving us a fresh face and something big for Ricochet, and would give us a chance for Rey Mysterio versus Ricochet at SummerSlam. SmackDown Tag Team Champions Bryan and Rowan are walking backstage. We see Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch walking backstage as we go to commercial. Back from a break, they announce to show us happy couple Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch at the MTV Movie and TV Awards, which were taped last night and were shown tonight, I believe. I'm pretty sure they were shown tonight. We go to the ring, and out comes Becky Lynch. Cole says this: she is here to confront Lacey Evans for causing her to lose the SmackDown Women's title. Last month, I've had a Sunday's match at Stomping Grounds. Now, why would Becky Lynch wait until the go-home show to Stomping Grounds to confront Lacey Evans for causing her to lose the SmackDown Live Women's Championship? That statement from Michael Cole makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. Oh, she's here on the go-home show to confront Lacey Evans for causing her to lose her SmackDown Live Women's Championship last month. That makes no sense. Why would she be here now instead of confronting her, which I believe she did the night after Money in the Bank? Why would she wait till now? That statement made no sense. Becky gets a pop from Los Angeles, and she calls it Los Angeles, which is the way Stone Cold Steve Austin also says about pronounces Los Angeles. So it's like, what's with people like Becky with Stone Cold pronouncing Los Angeles as Los Angeles? It's just so weird to hear still. Not a criticism, it's just one of those. It's like, why? That's just so weird to hear. Lynch says she will give Lacey Evans exactly what she deserves when she's within striking distance. Becky offers to kick Evans' ass all over Los Angeles. The music hits. Out comes Lacey Evans. And Lacey Evans' mic skills absolutely suck. I cannot, I'm trying to stay awake when I'm listening to Lacey Evans. She bores the living hell out of me. I know they're trying to get her to be the next big thing on Raw, whatever. She's not doing it. She ain't got it. She can't wrestle in the ring. I guess her gimmick, she lives her gimmick, whatever. She sucks on the mic. She sucks in the ring. Her stage presence is absolutely atrocious. This woman is not the future of the women's division. I would love to see Sasha Banks to come back and be the next challenger to Becky Lynch. I would love to see Naomi get a women's championship opportunity. Natalya, I would take over this because at least those two know who they are and how they are. This Lacey Evans stuff just. Can someone please again tell me why she's getting another shot? I asked this a couple weeks ago on Twitter. Who did she have to sleep with to get another championship opportunity? Because quite honestly, she has no reason to get another shot. She does. Lacey Evans talks for a bit. I'm trying not to fall asleep over here. Then she's about to get in the ring. Becky Lynch grabs her and gives her a Bexploder, and that was it. She leaves with the title in the air as Evans looks on. I'm sure when Lacey Evans, who was wearing a dress, she got thrown over. I'm sure a lot of guys, there's a couple teenage boys or something, tried to rewind and pause the video so when Lacey Evans, underside came exposed so they could say, "Oh my God, that's so fucking hot." It's like, no, this is just boring. Lacey Evans, the feud with Lacey Evans is not helping Becky Lynch's title run whatsoever. Here's the sad part. Coming out of WrestleMania, the three big matches going into WrestleMania were Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, Kofi versus Daniel Bryan, Seth versus Brock. We got all three winners that we wanted from WrestleMania. And all three title reigns have been absolute disappointments. And it's not Kofi, Seth, or Becky's fault. WWE's poor booking. Becky Lynch has nobody on her level on Monday Night Raw. Not Alexa Bliss, not Lacey Evans, not Natalya, not Naomi. Sasha Banks is nowhere to be found, and Nikki Cross is not where she could be to be on Becky Lynch's level. Seth Rollins has had they've had this whole entire bait and switch thing with Brock Lesnar going, where anytime now he could come out and cash in. He had the perfect chance coming into Super Showdown. What did they do? They didn't have him cash in after he literally tried to murder somebody for the with the championship. It was like, why did he not cash in on that night? Can someone explain that one to me? Why did Brock Lesnar not cash in on the night, on this Monday before Super Showdown? It would have made sense, but yet they didn't do it. This is not, and Kofi Kingston Being the pancake throwing guy that he is, that doesn't help anything. But it's like his match with Kevin Owens, the entire thing with Kevin Owens could have went a little bit better if it wasn't for Super Showdown. The feud with Kevin Owens would still be going on. And we also would have something to do with Daniel Bryan, but they threw Daniel Bryan into the tag team division. So all we have now is Kofi Kingston going up against the Dolph Ziggler, which nobody believes Dolph Ziggler is going to beat Kofi Kingston. That's like just obvious that Kofi Kingston is not beating Dolph Ziggler. I'm sorry, Dolph Ziggler is not beating Kofi Kingston. So why you even have this happening is just ugh. These 3 title reigns should be better than they are, and all 3, in my opinion, have been absolute disappointments. Not Becky, Seth, or Kofi's fault. It's just WWE's poor booking. Backstage, we see the tag team champions, The Revival, walking in. They enter Shane McMahon's locker room. Shane is there with Drew McIntyre. They have to do a toast to the celebration of Shane McMahon being the quote-unquote best in the world, and of course The Revival being the Raw tag team champions. Charlie Cruz is backstage with Baron Corbin. Charlie says Elias is no longer interested in being a special referee. Corbin says he's not scrambling to find a replacement and has a list of great choices. Corbin says he will reveal the pick later tonight on a special edition of Kevin and Sammy's show. Seth suddenly attacks Corbin and drops him. Rollins taunts Corbin as he walks off. So yes, the running theme of the night is every time Baron Corbin would name or have a special guest referee, a person interested in being a special guest referee, Seth Rollins would beat the holy hell out of him. Yay. We see the Viking Raiders backstage getting ready for a match, and I'm like, oh my god, they're alive. The Viking Raiders haven't been seen on Raw in over a month, but they're here. Back from break, and Bryan is out. Comes SmackDown Tag Team Champion Daniel Bryan. He says he understands why the McMahon family brought him in tonight under the wild card rule, because this place sucks. Raw, I'm not just talking about Raw, but I'm talking about Raw in all of Los Angeles. Yes, Monday Night Raw sucks. Yes, Los Angeles on most nights suck, probably. Bryan runs everyone down, and everyone does say they are here to educate and excite the people. Says he will excite us by destroying Seth Rollins and proving that just one half of the SmackDown Tag Team Champions is better than everyone on Raw, and showing the Raw tag teams why he and Rowan are the best. They were on the stage, but the Viking Raiders music hits, and out come Hanson and Rowe. I'm like, yay, the Viking Raiders are back on TV. They're facing jobbers. Joy, joy, joy. They're facing jobbers. These guys have been on TV for a month, and you give me Russ and Randy Taylor. Yay, this match lasted 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Viking Raiders win. Whoop-de-doo. And for whatever reason, WWE decides we're going to pan the crowd. We're going to look through the crowd. And in the front row, we see Carmella and R-Truth. Carmella is dressed like Charlie Chaplin, and R-Truth looks like one of the British arms officers. Just sitting there, Carmella grabs her hat and gives it away by just taking her hat and putting it in front of Truth's face. And then you have everyone coming down to try and grab the championship. It doesn't happen, and they end up getting away. And that was all we saw for the 24/7 championship tonight. I'm sorry, not the 24. It's not a championship. It's a joke. A bad joke. A very, very bad joke. We see Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens backstage talking about this segment and getting ready for the commercial, for the thing. Before we get to that, we come back and Heath Slater enters Shane McMahon's office, where Drew McIntyre is with Shane in the Revival. Slater asks for a raise because his kids are getting expensive, but Shane turns him down. Shane says he will let Heath walk out of the room like a man as he entered like a man. Heath leaves and goes out and make a call in the hallway. Shane nods at Drew, and Drew follows out to the hall. This, I think, was the best part of the show, in my opinion. This next part was it felt so great to see Drew McIntyre like this, because, honestly, this just felt so satisfying. Drew says he feels sorry for Heath and mentions knowing his family. Brings out some money out of his pocket, but he says he can't accept it. Drew quote-unquote, accidentally drops the money, and Slater goes to pick it up, And then Drew just beats the living fuck out of Heath Slater. Probably, he was on the phone, probably on the phone with his wife. But Drew McIntyre just knees him in the face, beats the hell out of him, and just if this was not PG, he probably would have been split in blood. But pretty much beats him to a bloody pulp. And Shane and the Revival pull him off, and all you hear in the background, all you hear from the phone is Heath, like it was his wife or somebody calling for him. Just felt so great to see Drew McIntyre like that. Drew McIntyre, what had they done to this guy? This guy was a badass on the independent scene as Drew Galloway. I remember watching him at What Culture Pro Wrestling 3 years ago. 2.5 years ago. This guy was the man. This guy was somebody, if he came back to WWE and was taken seriously, he would be a big star, and he would be the future of this company. He comes to NXT, which was his choice. They could have signed him to a contract and he could have went back to the main roster immediately, but he wanted to go to NXT. He had about a good 4 or 5, 6 or 7 months run, won the NXT Championship, held it till Takeover War Games 1, where he lost it to Andrade Cien Almas. Got injured in that match, unfortunately, and the next time we saw him was back on Monday Night Raw. And the first thing they did with him was pair him with Dolph Ziggler, and he has been paired with somebody ever since. Drew McIntyre has not been on his own at all since he's been back on Monday Night Raw for the last year plus. It's sad. He used to be a badass. He used to be somebody that you could take seriously, and now he's just Shane McMahon's lapdog, and it's a damn shame. I'm hoping it's going to lead to a babyface turn, and he's finally out on his own, because Drew McIntyre needs to be on his own. He did fine in NXT on his own. He does not need Shane, Elias, The Revival, or anybody else. He can hold his own. He could be on his own. And it's just so damn pitiful that you have to see Drew McIntyre pretty much being Shane's lapdog. And then we see the Kevin Owens show. Corbin makes it clear. Shane makes it clear that this show is safe space and safe work environment, which is more than he can say in WWE general. Because of this, Sami and Owens had withdrawn their name from being the special guest referee on Sunday, but they figured they should give Corbin his large platform to make his announcement, and he brings out EC3. I'm like, whoa, they're going to do something for EC3. They're going to give him maybe something. Never mind. Chair shot to the back, and he gets killed and destroyed by Seth Rollins. And then the New Day come out. So we're up to 6 guys, or 7 guys from the Wild Card Rule. The Wild Card Rule is absolutely dead. Absolutely dead. I'm sorry, the brand split is dead. We had Kevin Owens. We had Rowan and Daniel Bryan. R-Truth, Carmella. I don't give a fuck. They did not put in the rules that if you're the 24/7 champion, you can go between each brand. You had, let me think here. You had Bayley later on. You had so many other ones too. It's like, what's the point of the brand split if all you're going to do? Vince McMahon came out a couple weeks ago, like a month ago, and said only 3, and then he made it 4, can be from Raw to SmackDown or SmackDown to Raw. Why are we breaking the wildcard rule on both of these shows? It's just so fucking stupid. Chair shots to the top of the stage. Corbin and Sami look on from the ring. Corbin can't believe it as Rollins returns to the back. Corbin says it's back to the drawing board. Out comes the New Day. Big Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Sami says they are not invited and they're not even wildcards for the night. Sami asks them to leave the building. Kofi says he's WWE champion and that he goes where he wants. Oh, so you're all big and mighty now because you're the WWE champion. You can show up on Raw or SmackDown. That wasn't in the wildcard rule. That wasn't in the rules. Oh, so if the wildcard rule didn't exist, you'd still show up on Monday Night Raw? Kind of stupid. Sami asks them to leave. Kofi, he wants to bring his boys with him because that's what the fans want. Owen says Kofi shouldn't be worried about any of that. He should be worried about the WWE title is leaving him soon, but be it Dolph Ziggler on Sunday or the next chance Owen gets. Owen says, Kofi says, oh, just like when you beat me at Money in the Bank? Oh, that's right, you didn't. So, we get ourselves a 6-man tag match, but Of course, we gotta embarrass EC3 even more because he has a referee shirt on. The New Day's like, oh, if only there was a referee to sanction this match, and they go and pick up an unconscious EC3, do a little bit of ventriloquism, and then they dance around with a unconscious EC3. Before we get this match, we have AJ Styles is backstage talking to a WWE doctor. Close to being cleared for a ring return. He's fine. They're just not using him because they really have nothing for him in storyline. And AJ is a priority to them, so they're not going to just use him for no reason. But in comes Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson acting like doctors. AJ recalls their WWE debuts and their run so far. AJ says they've gotten too comfortable. Asked them when the last time they won a match. Well, the last time they were on WWE TV, AJ says they need to get serious. AJ says he misses the old Gallows and Anderson. They say they're talking the gloves off tonight, and they want AJ to watch how serious they can get when they beat the Usos tonight, who AJ thinks is the best. AJ says he will be watching. And then for whatever fucking reason, we come to the ring, and this 6-man tag match is a 6-man tag 2 out of 3 falls match. For whatever reason, this match was turned from just a 6-man tag match to a 2 out of 3 falls match, and I don't get the whole reason behind it. New Day get the first fall fast. The second, they didn't go to the third fall. At least I don't think they did. No, I don't think so. Basically, this match ended up back for Corbin because the New Day, Baron Corbin went through clothesline, I believe, Kofi Kingston, and ends up clotheslining Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens super kicks him. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens leave Trouble in Paradise 1, 2, 3, and the New Day win. Why did we need a 2 out of 3 falls match for that? I don't fucking get it. Why? If you wanted to have Baron Corbin gets it just made no sense why this was happening. Oh, by the way, Big E and Xavier Woods are going to be taking on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at the pay-per-view. I'm so excited for that. The only match at Stomping Grounds I even want to see now is Ricochet versus Samoa Joe, and that's it. There's no reason for me to even watch Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus Big E and Xavier Woods. I really don't care. So yeah, the only match as of right now, because everything else is either Rematch of Mania Brother or Rematch of Mania Brother from a different year. I don't care about this show. People are wondering, why is WWE having a hard time selling out the Tacoma Dome? I mean, we still have that picture. It's not much better. This is what we have, but it's not that much better here, actually. This is pretty much still, except for a couple of seats and a few spots, this is still sort of what you see on the Stomping Grounds thing on Ticketmaster. It's not good for WWE. And people are wondering, why don't they put Daniel Bryan on that card? Because Daniel Bryan's a heel, and they know he's going to get a babyface reaction. But it'd probably be the only way they could sell tickets is if you get Daniel Bryan versus somebody on that card, and it's somebody that he's actually good in the ring with. I don't see them doing anything well. Let's see here. Alexa Bliss approaches Nikki Cross backstage with a present, and it's a coffee mug with a letter in it, with a little wrapped note in it. She leads it, and apparently they have a tag team title match for later in the night. Now, may I ask, why are they getting a tag team title opportunity? What happened to the Kabuki Warriors? The Kabuki Warriors. Oh, you know that tag team of Kairi Sane and Asuka? They're Paige's tag team. They're supposed to dominate the women's tag team division, the non-existent women's tag team division. They're gonna win the women's tag team titles. Where the fuck are they? We have not seen Asuka or Kairi Sane in probably a month. You had Paige come out and was like, yeah, these two are going to dominate. These two are going to dominate the entire women's tag team division. There's one problem. There is no women's tag team division outside of Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, Fire and Desire, and the Idiotics. There is no legit tag teams other than that. You broke up the Boston Hug connection because you fucking want to be cynical. Yeah, so what happened to Asuka and Kairi Sane? Where are they at? I know there's SmackDown shows, but who cares about the fucking wildcard rule? Seriously, who fucking cares about the wildcard rule? We have 7 or 8 SmackDown stars on Raw. We'll have 7 or 8 Raw stars on SmackDown. So the wildcard rule means absolutely nothing. We see Paul Heyman backstage getting ready for what? I don't fucking know. I'm already over this shtick with Paul Heyman, by the way. Back to the more break, and we see Paul Heyman in the ring with the mic, and fans chant ECW because, of course, they do. Why not? It's fucking stupid. No, they don't chant ECW. They chant EC Dub, which is fucking stupid because it's ECW. It's not ECDUB, you fucking morons. I get sick and tired of that. He introduced himself as the advocate for his client, Mr. Money in the Bank 2019, Brock Lesnar. I'm surprised he didn't say Beast in the Bank. Apologizes and says he's not himself because he's not too comfortable with Seth Rollins running around with a wild with a steel chair. Heyman makes it clear that he is not a physical threat and he will not be the special guest referee at Stomping Grounds. He doesn't want to be the special guest referee at Stomping Grounds and says you would have to be some kind of dumbass to accept that job because of the chair shots Rollins has been giving out all night. Heyman gets some local heat by saying Seth Rollins is like the Los Angeles Lakers because both traded away their balls. The Lakers traded away their balls so LeBron James can have a buddy because when he fails to bring a championship to Los Angeles. Heyman says a steel chair is the only way Rollins is man enough to fight Lesnar. Heyman says Lesnar knows how to swing a steel chair pretty damn well himself, so if Rollins is here tonight, and he is, if he has a match, which he does, and if he has a formidable opponent, which he does in Daniel Bryan, then Rollins is vulnerable. Heyman says maybe, just maybe, Lesnar is here tonight as well, and the fans pot for this. Are you people that fucking stupid? Do you really think WWE, like Brock Lesnar is just gonna... I know we had him for like 3 weeks in a row after Money in the Bank, which is really fucking rare. I'm sure he got a lot of goddamn money for those appearances. But he's probably off hunting or doing his farm or whatever in Canada. He was nowhere near. Stomping Grounds could be a different story. I doubt it. But he maybe not. Fans boo. Heyman says Lesnar will show up on Sunday or next Monday. He doesn't know. Fans don't know. But more importantly, guess who else doesn't know? Rollins. Drops the mic and makes his exit. Can I ask, what was the difference between this promo and I believe he did a promo, last week as well? When he's like, we're going to not tell anybody when we're going to have our cash-in. What's the difference? This is the problem with this fucking Money in the Bank, the Money in the Bank briefcase going to Brock Lesnar. People, if Vince McMahon thinks, oh, I got him now, people are going to stick around to the end of Monday Night Raw. The end of Monday Night Raw to see if Lesnar's going to show up. I got him right where I want him. People are not this stupid, Vince. 4 fucking bait and switches in 3 weeks. You had 4 bait and switches. 3 on Raw and 1 at Super Showdown. Yet, you bait and switch so many times that nobody's going to fucking believe that Brock Lesnar was there this Monday. Nobody's going to believe Brock Lesnar's going to be there on Sunday. Nobody's going to believe Brock Lesnar's there on Monday. Next Monday. Give me a fucking break. Bait and switch stuff needs to end. Brock Lesnar being the Money in the Bank needs to end. It's not going to make a damn difference. Baron Corbin is backstage talking with Eric Young into being the referee. Young says he'll think about it. Young keeps walking and sees Seth Rollins. Young says he's turning the offer down. Rollins tells him to relax, Eric. I know. We go back. We go way back. You wouldn't do anything to jeopardize their friendship. Tells Rollins to relax. Tells Young to relax and take it easy. He walks out of frame for a second. Eric Young just sits there and goes, hands on his shoulders, and then he knew it just the way it looked. He knew the chair shot was coming because he dropped his arms to be ready to prepare for the chair shot. Because if he keeps his arms up like that, it's going to be worse for him. And nails him right in the back with the steel chair. Rollins unloads Young with more shots while he's down. So pretty much everybody who is a perennial loser who wasn't chasing after the 24/7 title tonight got their ass kicked by Seth Rollins. We see the Usos backstage in their Misty lair getting hyped over the Good Brothers match, which will be coming up very, very soon. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Good Brothers versus the Usos. Another good match for these. A nice good match here. I wish it could have went a bit longer. I know the last time these guys wrestled, it was a lot better. They win with double super kicks to Gallows for the 1-2-3. After the match, we see a frustrated AJ who was watching the entire match. They did pan back to him a couple times. Gallows and Anderson also not happy at the Usos make their exit. Gallows and Anderson have some words in the ring as the Usos celebrate. So yes, Gallows and Anderson will be gone in about 4 months or 3 months. Their contracts come up in September. They are not staying. This is just WWE's way to get them embarrassed as much as they can. Do I see Gallows and Anderson heading over to AEW when their contracts come up? I don't think so. I think they might be more Ring of Honor bound, maybe. Maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know what we're going to see, but we'll have to wait till... We probably won't see them. If they are going to be AEW bound, we wouldn't see them until October at the TVs that they do. You see Shane McMahon, Drew McIntyre, and the Revival backstage hanging out. Roman is shown walking backstage to the ring. And of course, after a week of no Roman Reigns, WWE has to have some Roman Reigns. We see back from the break, and announcers show us a Twitter clip of Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan hyping the U.S. Women's World Cup team, and I had to turn down the mute button because I don't give a fuck what Hulk Hogan has to say. Out comes Roman Reigns and another wildcard rule superstar for the week, which that's like the 7th or 8th wildcard superstar, and we still have Bayley coming up. Just saying. The announcers lead us to a video package of Reigns versus Drew McIntyre at Stomping Grounds, which includes shots of Reigns lost to Shane McMahon Super Showdown. Reigns admits Super Showdown was bad for him. Reigns says this does not entertain us, but he knows what will entertain us: him delivering an ass kicking tonight. And I'm like, no, sorry Roman, sorry. Nothing you have done, no matches you have had, no feud that you have had has been entertaining. You are not an entertaining superstar. I just wish the entire thing of these guys, like these fans cheering him because they feel obligated to because Joe Onowale beat cancer. Again, does not mean that you need to cheer this guy. Here's the thing. Having Roman Reigns, having people go out there and cheering this guy because they feel sorry because this guy went out there and he battled leukemia. Not as long as everyone thinks he did. Obviously, he was fine after a month or two. They just want to make it sound, WWE wanted to pull it out and stretch it out because he was off doing movies and TV shows. None of that now. But this guy is not, what you see in the ring is not Joe. Apparently, according to Jon Moxley, the guy we see in the ring, or what we saw tonight, is nowhere close to what Joe Onowale is. This guy that's in the middle of the ring is Joe playing a part as best as he can that Vince McMahon has mapped out for him. This guy doesn't get to use we don't get to see his charisma. We don't get to see the real side of Joe, which I know Roman, when he came back, said he would like to incorporate some of his who he is in his character, which would probably be great for Roman. But he doesn't get to do that. So people, when you're booing Roman Reigns, you're not booing the guy who beat cancer. That'd be like saying, Tony Stark in an Iron Man movie had cancer. Okay, he beat that, and he beat that cancer in the movie. So that's pretty much saying like Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr. are the same guy. It's not. Robert Downey Jr. is the actor. He's playing a character, Tony Stark. People need to stop being like, oh, this is Joe Onowale, he beat cancer. No, it's not. That guy is left at the door as soon as his music hits. As soon as that music hits, if you want to boo him, you're not booing the cancer survivor. Anybody, I know what cultures guys went to WrestleMania this year, and they had a post-WrestleMania video they did, and they talked about how Roman was getting booed out of the building, and they were really disturbed by this. And I'm like, guys, they're not booing Joe, they're booing the Roman character. Anybody, it's okay to boo Roman, you're not booing Joe. Now, if you come up to Joe or Roman and you when he's on his day off and you say some shitty shit to him, or if you try to be an asshole towards him, that's a different story. But as soon as that music hits and he walks out there, he's not Joe anymore. It's Roman. And Roman is a boring wrestler. Roman is a shitty fucking promo. And Roman is just boring as all hell. And not one time ever have I been entertained by a Roman Reigns match. I've tried. Hasn't been worth it. AJ Styles barely got a 3-star match out of him. Barely. A big thing coming around right now is that people are speculating that the reason Shane McMahon is getting pushed so much is because they're going to put the WWE Championship on him to give it to Roman Reigns. Because if you put Roman Reigns in a match with Kofi Kingston right now and had Roman beat Kofi, that would be the biggest anti-thing. That would be the worst thing WWE could do. You want to see Roman get booed again? Have him go to SummerSlam and beat Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship in a fair match. The fans would fucking revolt. I don't think it's going to be any better if you do it with Shane McMahon. I don't want to see Shane McMahon be WWE Champion. I would rather see Daniel Bryan. I would rather see Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. I would rather see Randy fucking Orton. I would rather see Mustafa Ali, Andrade Cien Almas. I would rather see Andrade Cien Almas win the WWE Championship. I would rather see Aleister Black turn heel and beat Kofi Kingston. I don't want to see Shane McMahon be the WWE Champion. I'm not saying it's going to happen, and this is another thing. If we keep talking about it, if it is a thing that is in the cards, we keep talking about it, 50-50 chance says it's not going to happen because Vince McMahon he detests when fans think they know what they do, predict right. A lot of times finishes change and outcomes to matches change because we the fans are right on it and we the fans know that that's how that match is going to go and Vince McMahon wants to swerve us. 50-50. So basically, flip of the coin. If we know Shane McMahon is going to be the WWE Champion, he's not going to become WWE Champion. Or Vince McMahon can wake up and go, okay, he's going to be WWE Champion. We'll just have to wait and see. But I just have this feeling that the first main event of SmackDown on Fox is going to be Roman Reigns versus Shane McMahon, with Shane McMahon being the WWE Champion, and Roman going over Shane on live TV on Fox. Let's see how that goes, and I hope the hell I'm wrong. Anyway, Roman calls out Shane to face him one-on-one tonight. Shane appears on the big screen and has some business to handle before he leaves. Shane orders Mike Rome to give him the grand introduction. Shane says, now we can get started, and Shane says Roman shouldn't be ashamed of losing to the best in the world. We see the revival and Drew McIntyre in the room with Shane. Shane's not going to come to the ring to face Reigns, but Reigns should be concerned with what happens this Sunday when he faces Drew McIntyre. That's going to be a fucking bore fest. WrestleMania match sucked. This match is going to suck too. He says, McIntyre says Roman addresses Roman now and says Shane is the reason why he's not out there tearing Reigns apart, but Shane's not going to stop him from destroying Reigns on Sunday. Drew then says we will take Reigns apart until it gets really uncomfortable, and then Drew might consider pinning him. Drew says he will disfigure Reigns until he goes home bad enough that his kids scream at the sight of him. And of course, you mentioned a father's kids, and they're going to want to beat the living fuck out of you. So Roman leaves the ring, exits out through the crowd, and is headed for the backstage area as Shane gets ready. The Revival meets Reigns in the hallway, but he takes them out quite easily. Enters the room, and Drew approaches first, but Reigns knocks him. Shane tries to leave. Roman stops him and drops him. Reigns ends up putting Drew through the table on food and drinks. Reigns chases Shane to the back of the ring now, tackles Shane at ringside and unloads on him. Reigns brings it into the ring and levels Shane with a big Superman punch and then hits a spear. Reigns tells Shane to crawl to the back and tell Drew he's going to kick his ass on Sunday, drops the mic as the music starts back up, and he exits the ring. Now, what I think is going to happen on Sunday is that if Shane McMahon gets involved and costs Roman like Drew did at Super Showdown, this is going to lead to a 2-on-1 handicap match at Extreme Rules, where Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre will take on Roman Reigns. And that's what I think we're going to see at Extreme Rules. And hopefully that'll be where they end this shit. Shane McMahon can go away for a while, and then they can do whatever the fuck they want to with Roman Reigns. Hoping that's where this ends. Back from break after we see the Idiotics walking backstage. The Bayley and Naomi and Natalya are backstage for whatever reason this scenario is going on. You see Bayley, Naomi, and Natalya all just sitting there talking about whatever fuck. Charlie Caruso walks in and asks Bayley what she thinks about accusations against her. Charlie says there's a post on social media and how Bayley refused to take a photo with a fan who had on a Nikki Cross t-shirt. Bayley says this has Alexa Bliss written all over it and says she needs to take care of this and she's going to shut her up. But Natalya wonders if Bayley would really do this. No, Bayley would not do that. That is just so stupid. And I know it's just about heat for the match between Bayley and Alexa Bliss, but nobody cares. After, Bayley, this is your life. 2 years ago, do you really think anybody wants to see Bayley versus Alexa Bliss? I would rather see Bayley versus Charlotte, and they give Charlotte her 10th one, but that's only going to happen in SummerSlam. Oh, you got to give Charlotte her big 1-0, her big 10th title reign at a major event like SummerSlam. So Bayley, they're holding on to that title until they give it back to Charlotte, and then Charlotte will lose it at Hell in a Cell, and then she'll win it back. She'll lose it at Clash of Champions, and then she'll win it back at Hell in a Cell, making her a 11-time champion. And then she'll lose it somewhere down the line, and then she'll win it back again. And by this time next year, she'll be a 13, 14, maybe 15-time champion, and then in 2021, she will be a 17-time champion. I'm calling it now. Barring any injuries, of course. Which I'm not saying Charlotte get injured, I'm just saying barring any injuries, because that's the way WWE works. Injuries are just one mess up move away. Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss versus the Idiotics for the Women's Tag Team Championships. This match was not good. Bayley came down before the match started. They went to commercial break. The match hadn't started yet. The match actually did not start till they came back from commercial break. Okay. Then Alexa Bliss took the heat from the beginning. I don't know why they allow Alexa Bliss, who apparently has concussion issues, taking a bump that she did at the beginning of the thing. Where was it at? Let's see. Takes to the corner. Yeah, it's like Bliss gets her hair, goes to try and duck. I think it was Billie Kay, and she gets her hair yanked back, so her back of her head hits the mat, and I'm like, this woman has been out of wrestling for the end of last year and the majority of this year because of concussion symptoms, but your people backstage are booking her to take these bumps that are going to hurt her, and give her a chance to have another concussion. Just like last week with the German suplex into the turnbuckle. Why are they trying to, is WWE trying to get Alexa Bliss to not wrestle anymore, but they still want to use her? Because that's, seriously, why are you having her do that? Why are you having her, I hate to see what they're going to have her do against Bayley on Sunday. Match comes down to pretty much Bliss jumps down off the apron. Bayley drops Cross and knocks Bliss off the apron. Cheap shot. Bliss and Bayley have some words at ringside. Bliss shoves Bayley down. Cross continues fighting the Iconics off, but the numbers catch up and she gets rolled up to retain the titles as Bayley pulls down Alexa Bliss to prevent her from helping Nikki Cross win the tag team titles. So pretty much Bayley looks like a bitch heel. I'm gonna hate to say it. They really make Bayley look like a bitch heel. I mean, she might not have she says she has no problem with Nikki Cross, but you're gonna pull Alexa Bliss down to cause her, to fuck Nikki Cross over. Okay. Still, makes you look like a heel. This entire Bayley and Alexa Bliss shit, I just don't care about. After the match, the Iconics retreat in the title, taunt Bliss and Bayley. As ringside, Bayley runs to check on Cross and Bliss and Bayley. I'm sorry. Bliss goes in to check on Cross. Bayley and Bliss have some words. We see Nikki Cross is backstage with Alexa Bliss. Bliss blames Bayley for what just happened, and Cross agrees. Says Bayley ruined her dream and she wants to be in Bliss's corner on Sunday to watch the same thing happen to Bayley. And Bliss looks a little concerned. So I don't know. Like, I literally thought we were gonna have two outcomes coming. This is before Bayley showed up. I was like, oh, so it's either Nikki Cross is gonna be turned on by Alexa Bliss, where Alexa Bliss is just gonna go full blown heel, or we're gonna have new tag team champions. Nope, we got the babyface Bayley looking like a fucking heel. Terrible booking. The sooner those tag team titles are either A, retired, or taken off the idiotics, the fucking better. But again, there were no legit tag teams. You broke up the legit tag team just because you want to be cynical and somebody backstage has a vendetta against Sasha Banks. By the way, Sasha Banks has to return to WWE soon, or she's going to have a contract frozen to where she wants to leave WWE. She's going to be stuck with WWE longer than she wants to. Firefly Funhouse segment. Bryant tells the kids the world is flat and the dinosaurs aren't extinct. Bryant says he's built this place for us so we can all be different together. He wants everyone to join us here, where the fun never has to end. Various puppets and characters also want us to join them. They're like, join us, like, you know, that way. Bryant says people worship what they fear, and fear is power. Follow the leader. We get a bizarre montage of audio and video from Wyatt's Fiend's character appears while the characters chant and follow the leader in the background. I am over the Firefly Funhouse. It was great. I'm over it. I need Bray Wyatt back in the ring ASAP. I'm just not having fun with the Firefly Funhouse anymore. I am legitimately bored. It peaked with Vince McMahon with the devil. That was it. As soon as that happened, I'm like, everything else that has happened after that is just so, I'm done. Whenever they decide to put this guy back in the ring and ruin this character like we all know they're going to, let me know then. Until then, I don't care anymore. The Firefly Funhouse has run its course for me. Charlie Caruso is backstage with Rowan and Bryan. Bryan talks about Seth Rollins running around with a steel chair and how he will put an end to it tonight. Bryan says Rollins has never defeated him. They've wrestled, I guess, 3 times before the show, and Bryan has beaten him all 3 times, so there's that. Bell rings, and they go out at trading moves. The match ends in a DQ at 15 minutes left in the show. I'm like, is that it? You brought Daniel Bryan and Rowan over here for this? All of a sudden, because what happened was we got an Iron Claw slam onto the edge of the apron by Rowan, so that was the DQ. All of a sudden, they start double teaming Rollins. Now the New Day run down to make the save. Owens and Sami Zayn are right behind them. The Revival and the Usos also run down as a big brawl breaks out in the ring. The Usos and the New Day are left standing together. The Usos leap over, taking the Revival. Sami is down on the floor. Referees run down to try and break things up. Rollins is left in the ring with Bryan. Before they made the announcement, I'm like, are we getting a generic 12-man tag team match? I know the Revival don't have their wrestling gear on, but I wouldn't put it past WWE as like, this match is now a 12-man tag team match. No, they didn't do that. Because that would have been boring as fuck. What they do instead is, this match will restart with no one allowed at ringside. So, may I ask, why the fuck we had to have the New Day, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, the Revival, and the Usos all coming down to get involved with this match? Seriously, why did this happen? First off, Rowan and Bryan are beating up on Seth Rollins. The New Day have not had any, Michael Cole was like, the New Day have had problems with Rowan and Bryan. Since when? They've never actually seen, since Rowan and Bryan beat the Usos for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships last month, I believe, the New Day have been preoccupied with Kofi Kingston's WWE Championship reign. So when did the New Day have a problem with Bryan and Rowan? Of course, Big E just made his return last week. So can someone explain to me how that is? Now, if it would have been the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens coming down if it would have been Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens coming down and then the New Day, different story. But no, we're going to have the New Day come out because apparently they've had beef with Rowan and Bryan, even though they haven't. The people who have had beef with Rowan and Bryan are Heavy Machinery. Someone explain to me how, like, where these words come from, because it makes no fucking sense. So we get a damn good match between Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan. These two, I'm sure, had a lot of matches in Ring of Honor back when they were Tyler Black and Bryan Danielson. I don't know. I wasn't watching. I didn't watch Ring of Honor back then. But these two, I guarantee you, can never put on a bad match. I mean, I don't count the one that happened about 5 minutes beforehand, because that's not a match. That was just setting up for this angle that I thought was going to lead to a 12-man tag match. But somebody realized, oh shit, the Revival are in wrestling gear. So I can't do justified to this match. If you want to see it, you got to go check it out. These guys, if you want to see anything from Monday Night Raw, it's this match. This match was awesome. These guys always put on a hell of a match. I would love to see Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. They could do it if they wanted to. I mean, for fuck's sake, you have Alexa Bliss versus Bayley, and you have Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler. Those are Raw versus SmackDown matches. Who's to say at Extreme Rules we don't get Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins? I would pay money to go see that. I would pay money to go to an event, but you know what I mean. It's like Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins. Great match. The match ended with a label block attempt going in, but Rollins turns it into a 2 count. Rollins with an enziguri and more back and forth. Rollins nails the stomp in the middle of the ring and crawls over for the 1-2-3. After the match, he raises the Universal title. We go to the replays. Rollins heads up the ramp with the title in the air, facing the ring, and we all know this is always bad news, or it has been lately. He's up there on the stage, holding the title up with his arms up raised, and a chair shot from Baron Corbin. He hits another one in the back. Rollins stumbles to his feet, but Corbin delivers another chair shot across the back. Then a third one. This third one, I swear, if Seth Rollins does not have a concussion, he's a lucky motherfucker, because this third one hits Seth Rollins clean in the back, in the neck and head area. Corbin drags Rollins into the ring and plants him with the end of days right in the middle of the ring. Corbin takes the title and stands over Rollins, ends the final brawl before Stomping rounds goes off the air. So again, if it comes out that Seth Rollins has a concussion, it was that third chair shot, because Baron Corbin hit Seth Rollins so hard in the head area, like towards the head, that he collapsed. I literally thought he almost decapitated fucking Seth Rollins, how hard he hit him. It was not good, and it was brutal, and the chair shot stuff needs to just go away. You have Extreme Rules. The whole chair shot thing would be fine if you were doing a chairs match or some kind of Extreme Rules match at Extreme Rules. This is Stomping Grounds. There is nothing special about Stomping Grounds. You even got half the freaking venue sold out. And it is raining like a motherfucker outside, too. I don't know if you've heard that or not. But this show, beginning of the show, fine, awesome stuff. End of the show, great match. Great fucking match, except Baron Corbin possibly gave Seth Rollins a concussion. Everything in between is just a miss. So yeah. The opening segment where you had Elias get creamed, and then you had the fatal 5-way elimination match, which saw Ricochet getting his chance at his first championship on the main roster. His first singles gold opportunity since he was the North American champion, going in to take over Phoenix at the beginning of the year. The only match going into Stomping Grounds as of this time that I really care about is Ricochet versus Samoa Joe. I could give 2 fucks about Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins in the main event. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus The New Day. Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler. Don't give a fuck about that. The slut of Lacey Evans versus the man Becky Lynch. The slut of Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. And whatever else is going on, I don't give a fuck. These matches, this show sucks. You had All Out, which only has 2 matches, selling out in under 15 minutes. Why? Because you have AEW's world title being decided and Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega. Those matches beat out anything you're going to see on Sunday. By a mile. By 10 miles. This show is not a good show. This show this Sunday is not a good show. And this is the best WWE's got coming for us with Fyter Fest next week, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Fighter Fest is next Saturday. Not this Saturday, next Saturday. A week from Saturday is Fighter Fest. Guess what? You have Darby Allin versus Cody Rhodes. You have Shima versus Christopher Daniels. La Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid versus the Elite. You have Jon Moxley versus Joey Janela. That right there beats out anything you're going to see this weekend. And then, on the 6th, starting on the 6th, all the way up to the middle of August, you have the G1 Supercard. I'm sorry, not G1 Supercard, but the G1 Climax. There was so much good wrestling that I do not blame anyone not going to the Stomping Grounds this Sunday. If I was anybody, I'd be asking for my money back because, quite honestly, whatever they do on this show is not going to be worth it. And quite honestly, I don't think anyone should care. Why should we care? It's just another piss poor show, and nobody's gonna remember it going into the next night. This is the problem with WWE. Their shows suck. Their shows don't have anything that we remember it by. Yes, of course, we're gonna remember WrestleMania because A, it's WrestleMania. B, you had Kofi have that big emotional win. Do you remember anything from Money in the Bank other than Brock Lesnar winning the Money in the Bank briefcase? I don't. I really don't. Money in the Bank was that fucking awful. Monday Night Raw used to be a place where, and pay-per-views as well, that you could look back and be like, I remember that moment. There has been nothing on a Monday Night Raw in a very, very long time that we're going to be like, I remember that moment, I remember where I was, I remember what I was doing, and what year it was. It's just sad. WWE is on that very, very slow decline that they've been on for the last I'm going to say 17 years, 18 years. Yeah. They were at the top of the mountain. They bought WCW, and they've on a really, 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 really slow decline. It's just going to keep going, and they are nowhere to. And people are like, oh, they're on the decline now, but there's nowhere but up. No. They're on such a big decline that if they lose, here's the thing. They lose their TV deal for Fox, they're going to be out of a lot of fucking money. If they end up losing that TV deal with USA, they are fucked. WWE doesn't care. They're making that money. The Saudi government's paying them money for shitty shows. This is going to be just one of those years. And we thought 2018 was bad. 2017 outside of Jinder Mahal was not a bad year for WWE. 2016 was the best year we've had in a while, especially for SmackDown Live. But yeah, 2017 wasn't a bad show for Raw, at least. I mean, I'd rather go watch 2017 over 2018 or 19 because 2018 and 19 have been absolutely atrocious. This show just was not good. Like I said, opening match and main event matches is about, I'm going to say about 40 minutes of the entire show. That's 40 minutes of a show that is 3 hours long. Unless you have an hour and a half of this show that actually is worth a damn, then this show is a failure. And this show is a failure. I can't wait to see what AEW does in October. Yes, they are selling out big events like All Out and Double or Nothing. Yes, Fyter Fest and Fight for the Fallen hasn't sold out at all. But those aren't those shows they don't expect to sell out. Things will be interesting in October. I don't think we won't know the magnitude of AEW until we get to TV. And I'm not going to say October. We won't know the magnitude of how much of a difference AEW is going to make until we get to 2020. I'm just going to say it right now. I went on a little tangent here, but make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitch and Twitter at The France Club, and I will see you guys tomorrow with SmackDown Live, where Xavier Woods takes on Dolph Ziggler for, shits and giggles. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.